Welcome to Voices for Impact, the podcast. Started during the COVID-19 pandemic and made in Syracuse, Voices for Impact is full of conversations with thought leaders from around the world that have made significant accomplishments in their lives and have gone through their own challenges, but have made it through those adversities and made positive impacts through their work. I'm your host, Danielle Mensing, and as a fundraiser for a nonprofit, I believe the most valuable tool you can give yourself is making a positive impact on others and your community. Every conversation is going to give you tools and tactics from entrepreneurs, athletes, artists, and change makers that will encourage you to develop a growth mindset and reimagine how you can find your purpose. Now let's get started.
I think it's like looking back and being like, oh, I might have made a mistake, but I learned this. Like, I have no regrets. I did what I needed to do. And for me, community is a big part too. It's like, am I happy with the people I'm surrounded by? You know, and naturally I think your energy kind of pulls the right people in, whatever energy you're portraying. And I want to look around, you know, and be like, I'm surrounded by the best coworkers, teammates, friends, family, whatever it is.
Hello and welcome to Voices for Impact. My name is Danielle Mensing, founder of Voices for Impact, and today I'm chatting with my friend Dan Distefano. Dan is a Boston-based health, wellness, and creative entrepreneur. He is co-founder of the Print Hub, a screen printing and apparel company, as well as Yoke Media, a boutique consulting agency specializing in digital media management, strategy, website development and design, photo and videography, and graphic design. Dan is also a Lululemon ambassador and heavily involved in the fitness community as a CrossFit athlete and Barry's instructor. So Dan, thank you so much for having a conversation with me today.
Yeah, of course, Danielle. Thanks for reaching out.
Tell me a little bit about what makes you passionate about fitness and being active.
I think it has to be the two tiers are creating the best version of myself, like physically. And then that comes with like mentally and emotionally and all that stuff. Like health and wellness is so much bigger than just like physical appearance, right? As we're aware. And I think it's being able to help other people. Like the beautiful thing about fitness is not only are you helping people achieve their best life in so many different lights, but you also meet so many people along the way from all different walks of life. So it's super rewarding, like seeing what other people are like in the end, what other people are like to in the day-to-day, right?
Yeah. Explain to me a little bit about Barry's Fitness. Like we talked privately about this before we recorded, but what is boutique fitness? What is that?
Yeah, so I'll describe boutique fitness as like anything that's not just walking into like a Gold's Gym or a Planet Fitness, right? So boutique fitness is like an experience, like you pay per class. We do have memberships. You walk in, you have your experience from checking in at the front desk, like having a very personalized experience. Going into the studio, classes average about 40 to 50 people a class. It's a high intensity interval training on the treadmill and it's weights on the floor. So it's nothing like, there's nothing better than that. And it's just like it's like a group experience, but it can be super intimate, right? You're interacting with your friends, your fellow classmates, but you're also interacting with the instructor. I like to, simply put, it's like Barry's is like a nightclub with treadmills. So you walk in, I mean, the amenities are top notch, like showers I would want in my apartment, 22 treadmills in a room, 25 floor stations. I mean, the numbers vary depending on it, but I mean, everyone has their own station. The instructor runs it. They tell you where to go, how fast to go. The energy's high. The music is high. It's inspirational.
Something like you've never seen before.
It's so cool. It's something I've never seen before, and I was instantly hooked. And it was like from that day, I was like, one day I gotta work at Barry's. And I came down to Boston in the end of 2018, and I was like, so the owners here are from Syracuse, actually. They're FM guys. And I met with them, and I was like, hey, if you ever have an opportunity, like, give me a call. They were like, what do you want? And I was like, an opportunity. Like, if you ever have anything, call me. And they gave me a call early 2019. And they're like, hey, we have an opening. What do you think about moving to Boston? And I was like, done, sold. had a going away party, packed up my dog who's sleeping on the bed right now. I'll give her a little shout out.
Yeah, let's see the dog.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, she's just living her best life right now.
She's so cute. Thank God I made my bed. And the rest is history. I moved here and I knew I wasn't going to meet, I wasn't going to know people off the start, but I knew being in a city like Boston or New York, like the opportunity was endless, and being with a company like Barry's would just skyrocket my goals, dreams, and aspirations.
Now you're also founder of 2 businesses, the Print Hub and Yoke Media. What excites you about these business ventures and opening your own business?
I think the exciting thing is, first it was like, I have to admit, it was a little driven by ego. Like, you own something, it's super cool. Like, but I think at the end of the day, what I noticed was like, I love interacting with people. And sadly, most people don't get paid to interact with someone. So I love building a community, being a part of a community. Mm-hmm. And 2, if I don't mind going above and beyond for stuff I believe in. Yeah. So we have the screen printing company with my business partner, Drew, who he's still in Syracuse. He'd be another good person to interview. He's the man though, runs the day-to-day, super bright, like keeps my ass in line. And then the digital marketing company is on my own. We used to do a bunch of social media marketing in Syracuse. But one of the tough things was, right, like social media marketing, it's like, it's hard to be like, this post, you'll get $10 back from it, right? Or this post will drive one person to your restaurant. So it was a lot of times there was the marketing budget that got cut first. Mm-hmm. So that kind of ebbed and flowed. But now here in Boston, it's more content creation, like creating visuals for brands. And then it's more personal marketing with myself and brands as well.
Going back to the fitness a little bit, What is some nutrition or fitness advice you could give to those listening?
I think the first one is, if you're questioning it, like, get started. 100% get started. Do your research, figure out what your goals are. Like, a lot of people come in like, I want to get stronger, I want to lose weight. And that's like it's a very like large goal, right? Mm-hmm. Like, there's so many ways to get there. And just understand, like, you're in it for the long haul. Like, as long as you're alive, you want to strive to live a healthy lifestyle. A lot of people will crash diet to lose 10 pounds, or they'll, do something for 6 months, see the results, then stop. It's just try to build a sustainable routine. Like, it's simply like running. Running's the easiest form. Like, if you run more, you'll get better. And at some point you're going to get stuck and you're going to need advice someone. So whether that's hiring a coach or asking a friend or a fitness friend who knows, like, for example, someone emailed me and they're like, hey, I've been stuck at 3 miles for like 2 months. And I was like, okay, like, what's your pace and how do you feel? And they were like, my pace is, an 8-minute mile and I'm very uncomfortable. And I was like, okay, drop it to a 9-minute mile and you'll be able to go farther, right? So there's more variables than just going outside and running. But for your average consumer, like, just get out there, start working out, lifting stuff up, putting it down. And if you have questions, ask a professional, because you can get injured doing certain movements. Like, it's just like anything, right?
Right. Now, okay, so explain to me a day in the life of Dan, because you're pretty busy juggling all these different things. How do you?
Is this pre-COVID or post-COVID or?
Oh yeah.
COVID? True. I'll go average.
Both. Do both. Let's see. What's happening now, I guess.
I always like to stay busy. Like, I just like keeping my mind engaged. So that's one of the things I enjoy about having multiple like ventures, is like, I can do my fitness, I can do my printing, I can do my marketing, and it helps me bounce around but also stay productive and break up my day. Mm-hmm. So I mean, my standard day before this would vary. I would at least have like 1 or 2 Barry's classes, which I would book off a certain amount of time. Obviously it always starts with a dog walk, ends with a dog walk. Like, we got to go to the dog park for an hour. But I think a lot of it too is like networking, sweat working, like popping into other people's classes in the industry, connecting with other people through social media. Even my own teammates. A lot of our teammates are spin instructors or dance instructors. So trying to just show up and support them, right? Like, it's not always like a verbal, I'm supporting you. It's like, hey, I'll come to your dance class, or hey, I'll try your spin class. Mm-hmm. So I always try to do that a couple of times a week, and then just pursuing my own fitness and opportunities. Lots of Barry's classes. I love the product. I mean, the treadmills rip, the weights are heavy, the atmosphere is fantastic. And it's also a great way to meet clients, possible clients. Like, you get stuck on a treadmill. Like, normally we're in the position of power and we're yelling at you and you don't get to say anything back, right? But now when we're next to each other, like sweating with your friends, sweating with your clients, you can have conversations, like get to know them a little bit. I don't know how that's going to look post-COVID because I'm sure we're all going to be masked up and everything.
Yeah.
But it's a lot more connecting on social media, on Zoom. I also have a motorized skateboard that I zip around town and shoot content on, which is a lot of fun.
What do you think is a skill or characteristic that you have that's helped you achieve your goals to this point?
Man, that's a good question. I think one of it is like, I don't want to say personality, but it's how I like perceive people and how I want to be perceived. Like, whenever someone meets me, like I always try to be in like a good mood, be chipper, like be engaging. Cause like a lot of people are very timid and I'm obviously like a little more outgoing. But I also think too, it's the understanding that every day you're going to wake up and like, if you're going to get out of bed, you might as well give it your best effort. And the other thing is like, every day is not going to be perfect. You're going to fall down, you're going to get up. And I think it's understanding that no matter what you go through, like you're going to be fine on the other side. You just have to keep like chipping along, right?
I love that. So how do you keep a positive mindset too?
I have the cutest dog in the world. No, I think it's hard. I think it's just having like optimism, like understanding at most of the time, everything's going to be all right. And I also think I have a great network around me of inspirational and supportive people that not only am I friends with on social media, I've met in person, I've hung out with them. So it's a really authentic connection where like, if I need help, I know I have a group of people I can reach out to, and it goes vice versa, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, some of those friendships are the best ones where you don't talk for a year, or it's like this and that, but you know, if you called the person, hey, I'm in New York, can I sleep on your couch? Like 100%, right?
What is the most common reason you think people fail or give up on their goals and what they're shooting for?
I think for fitness, it's accountability. Like it's easy to do it for a week. It's easy to do it for a month. At some point, you're not going to see the results you want. And it's just figuring out how to get through it, whether it's hiring a professional or if it's a financial barrier or if it's an understanding barrier, or maybe you're on social media looking at workouts and that workout isn't attributed to your goals, right? So I think a big thing is accountability. And like with that on the other side of it, like people want results really quickly. Like we want our cake, we want to eat it too. We wanted it yesterday, you know, like the typical thing. But I think it's understanding like you're doing it for the long haul. Like, you know, it's where do you want to see yourself in 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, right? Like the hard part is I can't show you a picture of yourself in 4 years. Like a lot of the reasons why people work out is physical aesthetics, which is fine. And naturally you get the better heart rate, the lower body fat, you're healthier, you're happier, like it all kind of goes in together. But, you know, if I said, hey, we need 4 years together, it's going to cost you $5,000 and you're going to feel great in 4 years. Like it's hard. I can't prove that. I can't go into the future and be like, here's your 4-year self, right? So It's also building a little bit of trust with the right people.
So where do you see yourself in the future? What are some things you have in the works?
First of all, shout out to all my Syracuse friends. I love you guys, but I'm probably not coming back. No, honestly, I see myself with Barry's. I think the company as a whole, the projection is fantastic. And I think myself within the company is great. And I think for me, it's trying to create, you know, my values right now are time and money, and those constantly fluctuate. And there's always like a third value that comes in there that I mess around with. But at the end of the day, I love the lifestyle Barry's and my entrepreneurial pursuits provides me. So, you know, just trying to create more time or money. And I don't know, sometimes I don't always know how that looks, but I understand that, you know, you never know when an opportunity is going to present itself. Like my business partner, Drew, at the printing company, we've known of each other, but we officially met in a bar when I was out in Syracuse like 5 years ago. Right. And you never know why you don't hit it off with people, but it's just like, as you meet more people, you just never know what's going to happen.
And you talked to me about that a little bit before. You're making connections. Can you speak on that and your philosophy behind making and keeping connections?
Yeah, I think making connections. Well, I'm lucky. I have a fantastic. I think social media is a great way to manage connections. Like to saying that very superficially, but like, right, like if we haven't talked in a while, I heart your picture. It's like, oh, there's Dan. Oh, there's Danielle. Like, right. Like there's our connection, even though we didn't talk.
Right.
But I think it's important to practice what you preach. Like there's people I've met who on social media, they seem one way. And then in person you meet them and you're like, you are totally different. And it's not wrong, right? It's just like that person isn't going to trust you.
Mm-hmm.
Like the underlining thing about building a connection is that can you build trust in that? Like, is this person as happy as they seem or as sad as they seem? Or do I feel better being around them? So part of it is building trust. And then once you have that trust as someone who has multiple businesses, like people will start to trust you, not only with your fitness, but then they'll get t-shirts screen printed or they'll want shirts or design or whatever it is, right?
Last question. I've been loving to end these conversations with this question, but how do you define success?
Ooh, that's a hard one. I think success for me is going to be being able to like look back and say I have no regrets. Right? So like, I mean, that doesn't really define what the future looks like, but it kind of shapes that. Like, if I have an itch to scratch, I'm going to scratch it. If I have a question to scratch, I'm going to ask it. I think it's like looking back and being like, oh, I might have made a mistake, but I learned this. Like, I have no regrets. I did what I needed to do. And for me, community is a big part too. It's like, am I happy with the people I'm surrounded by? You know, and naturally I think your energy kind of pulls the right people in, whatever energy you're portraying. And I want to look around, you know, and be like, I'm surrounded by the best coworkers, teammates, friends, family, whatever it is.
That's great. That's so important. I think throughout this whole conversation, it's really come back to surround yourself with a good group of people that
100%.
And that really helps to determine the quality of person that you're becoming.
Yeah.
Too.
I mean, I think it says a lot. I was lucky. I had a great family. I had great mentors. I had great people I hung around, and like, it wasn't always like, it wasn't always like them telling me what to do or me asking what to do, but I mean, they just set the bar really high and I wanted to copy what they were doing, but make it my own.
Thank you so much for coming on Voices for Impact, Dan. I really appreciate it. You sharing your advice and what you're up to.
Yeah.
And check out Print Hub, Yoke Media. See the handles below. Thank you so much to our viewers for watching. Voices for Impact is on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. So please follow and like us to stay connected, and see you next time on Voices for Impact.
Peace, guys.